Okay, here's a complete disassembly and reassembly of the M&P 22 Compact. Mag's empty. There is nothing in the chamber. So let's get started. First thing we're gonna need, let's see. Tools we'll need is a wrench like this, some sort of a small screwdriver. The wrench is to remove your muzzle piece. And a couple of punches, and then I like to use some forceps. Alright, first thing first, let's lock it back. Let's go ahead and use our little wrench tool they send with the gun to get this off. Some guys complain that this is a pain. I've never had a problem with it. It's always been nice and easy. Set that off, we don't need that now. Now while we've got it locked back, flip that down. What that allows you to do is pull this back and up, and maybe, there we go. So we will do this piece first. Pretty simple. Let's see, you can take a punch, and there is a pin. Where are we? There's a pin right here. And we just need to punch it out. I always go from this direction. And then your punch breaks. Now let's see. Let's get our longer punch. And knock that pin out. Close enough anyway, where it's out far enough that we can just slide this piece out. There's not a whole lot to it. There is a spring right here you don't want to lose that comes out. Set that right there. That spring comes out as long as this piece belongs with that spring. Let's see, to remove the extractor, I will remove the firing pin first. Firing pin comes out and there's a little spring in there. I don't know if you can see it. This little guy, those two stay together. To move your extractor, you just flip it like that. And be careful because that does have a spring on it. There's a little detent piece and a spring that goes in there, and that really is, you know, your whole slide besides your sights. We're not going to remove the sights today. Put it back in. We're just going to throw it like that, and you're gonna, it's kind of got a tab on it. You can grab and pull back. And this goes in at an angle and snaps in. You know if you do it right, because if you don't, it'll shoot off. Let's get that little couple of springs out. It's the smaller of the two. If you get them mixed up, it's not a big deal. And it drops right down. You can kind of see a step, maybe not. There's a step in there. It drops up in the higher of the two steps. When you go to put the firing pin in, you'll see. Firing pin, obviously, that way forward. Okay, next, this piece with this end goes down. And of course the spring goes in that. This all carefully slides back in. You gotta kind of hold the slide up so you don't lose your spring. There we go. And it just slides back in. I like to relocate with a pin or the punch. Until we get her started, and then once she's started, okay, that's pretty much your slide. There's not a whole lot to it. Frame, on the other hand, sucks. That piece came out of right there. That's just your slide spring. Toss that. There's nothing to do it. Take our magazine out. Now you got to be careful doing this because there is quite a few things that like to come out as you're taking this apart. There's a pin, roll pin here, there's a pin here, roll pin there, and another pin here that's got a groove in it. And we're going to start by taking the barrel out first. When I do it, the first thing I do is I release this. Maybe. Shouldn't take too much pressure, and you can see when I pull it, it kind of has a, a T or whatever on the one side. So it has to go in from left to right. There's a spring in here that is the trigger spring that will probably come out. Just be aware of that. Hopefully it will catch it. There's that spring I was talking about that's going to fall out. Don't worry about it. Just put it in. We'll do it later. Continue knocking that pin out. And we're going to want to take that all the way out. Maybe. There we go. It's just a roll pin. Now at this point, this is loose. I'll tell you right now, keep your finger on this with a little bit of pressure downward. So there's a tiny spring. That's not it. Okay, now I'm going to show you where this came off of. This sits right here. This is your magazine. Your gun won't fire unless the magazine's pushing up on this. That just comes right out. This spring really doesn't come out. They've got it staked in, I think. So we won't worry about that. Your slide release is the same thing. It just pops right out. We don't need to worry about that spring losing. The spring we have to worry about is this guy. And you saw as I pulled this up, this little guy came right out of place. And that sucks when that falls on the ground and you have to go find it. So that's our barrel really, and I'm not going to take it apart any further than that. I assume that these pins come out and the barrel just pops off, but I don't see why you'd ever need to clean that. It's too tight to get dirt and stuff back in there. So we'll put all those together.